Hello! So before we begin, I want to go over this real quick one more time, make sure I've got everything sanded down well. Because there's going to be a lot of gloss. I need my purple sandpaper. There it is. Hey, Love Minis. Hey, Aries. There we go. I gave it a generous coat of Mr. Surfacer 500 from the airbrush. Just making sure all the peaked areas, the wood grain's not too visible. Or if I can just knock it down a hair. Like right there. Come on, autofocus. Why are you meowing at me, Marbles? And? Hey, Alex. Yeah, I don't know if you got my whispers on Twitch, but at the time, YouTube had actually suspended my account. Because I decided to post a short of a Panzer IV with Panzerlied instrumental playing as the music. And in YouTube's AI-run wisdom, got flagged as hate speech. So yeah, make that make sense. But I kept spamming appeals, and they finally looked at it with a human, and they're like, "Oh, oops." So if it wasn't for that, I would have been streaming on Kick and Twitch alone today. I'm just going through looking for the worst of the support nubs that I may have missed. And layer lines, which there aren't a lot of. Also removing the blue tack I used to temporarily hold it together for some pictures. Right? Oh no, a World War II German vehicle with German music. He must be... Yeah, no. And there was no unnecessary symbolism. Hey, Fenrir. Those will be hidden, that'll be hidden. That might not be. Okay. Other than that, things are going okay. Got 6 more subs on YouTube overnight, so if you're here from that, thank you very much. And as is customary on Twitch, and I'm gonna put it out there on Kick too, it is Subtember. Usually Twitch at least has some deals where subs are discounted on there during this month. So if you would like to sub and support the channel, please feel free. Not required, but greatly appreciated. Ban. A bit slow on the draw there, huh, Aries? Probably, or you were right after me, one or the other. Just giving this area a quick scrub down. It looks like... I didn't know that you were on Kick. I had only seen that you were on Twitch, so I had Kick open and took care of it. Sorry. That'll paint over just fine. Like I said, we're just checking it over real quick for any real noticeable nub marks. I've been doing this the past couple days just to be sure. Yeah, Kick has been so inundated with that particular streaming bot that, or the stream whatever that is, that I've just taken it upon myself to have a window open to it when I start. Alright, let's lay the initial black color on. And then we'll start carbon fibering, and then go in with a brush and start picking out all the underlaying stuff. Move all this out of the way so I don't get too much pebble texture on it. Who was trying to call me? Hold on. It's not even that. I didn't have that insignia on the Panzer IV. I don't put that on my models. The only ones I do are aircraft, and I've only got 2 German aircraft models. And that's only because it was actually on there. Do you see those on YouTube? No. It had nothing but your standard ground here markings. Nothing inflammatory, nothing offensive, nothing contentious, or whatever term you want to use. It just had the standard cross marking, which, you know, they've been using a version of since well before World War I. No, I just think it's because people have been using Panzerleid and Erica in more racist type of videos that the YouTube algorithm just automatically pinged those songs, even though they are not inherently racist in and of themselves. So it was a knee-jerk reaction from a badly programmed AI handled by an inept company that really doesn't know what the fuck's going on. That's just my take of it. But what's worse is if you go through my shorts, you'll see one of a anime character with a giant shield in a blue and white bikini. Like a kind of like a take on the Daikon bunny girl from the 80s. That initially got flagged as inappropriate content due to sexuality. And when I appealed it, there was actually a window where I could type a quick explanation for the appeal and review. The Panzer IV didn't even have that. I had no opportunity to speak for myself in the matter. It was just automatically assumed, certain song, certain vehicle, hate speech. That is inherently wrong on a fundamental level. Especially when that same day, as soon as the ban had happened and the appeal was going through, a clip of Girls in Panzer with the same fucking tank and the same fucking song came through. So yeah, I'm a bit butthurt about it. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, wait, so you're allowing this, but you're not allowing mine, even though essentially the subject matter is no different, and the presentation is no different. Yeah, make that make sense, YouTube, and Google by extension. But just note to self, until companies stop leaning and just be companies, don't post German World War II stuff. Or if you post it, be sure that any symbology of any kind, inflammatory or not, is just covered up. Because you're not going to be able to do it historically correctly. I messed up. I have no idea where I'm going to put this. But I think the worst of it to me is the fact that there was no way to contact a human to handle the matter. But yeah, there was no way to contact a human, and it felt like I had no recourse in the matter. No recourse, no representation, no nothing. Yeah, I know it's not a court of law, but I was still being found guilty for something I wasn't guilty of. So the body I'm probably not going to carbon fiber too much on. If I do, it might be this shoulder piece up here, possibly these if I can wrap them properly, and some other of the larger panels. But I've got an idea for what I want to do with the body. Either way, it'll require a dark base coat like this. And I did add some lines to it, like these braided cables here weren't part of the print, obviously, because I was able to flex them like that. That is just black string, but it's leftover tow rope from my M109 project, and when painted it has the look of like a braided cable or a braided housing or something like that, kind of like shielded cable. So that's a nice little trick I'm gonna leave in my arsenal from now on whenever I need that. But back on the bunny girl, I was allowed to state something on the appeal. The appeal was noted, and within half an hour, reversed and the short was back up. You know, great, done and dusted, cool. I got the STL on Cults 3D. I don't remember the name of the file creator off the top of my head, but just look up Xenoborg. I think they're charging like $16 for it. This is the one that did the rounds a few weeks ago on all the sites, Figure Painter and stuff like that. I wanted to try my own take on it. Hey Jeffs, how you doing? Methinks Love Minis is gonna make her own. I think I've got to clean off the nozzle. The only thing I'm really disappointed in is the base. It's just generic looking rock thing. I might print out, like, since I've got the files for Hicks from Kuton Sculpts, I might print out like the helmet, the shoulder light, and the pulse rifle, bang them up and have them like at the base of the rock, just to give it a bit more context. I just have to clear my airbrush nozzle from time to time. Arid environments are not friendly to painting acrylics. No, there won't be any rust on this one, I'm afraid. I'm going for a much more, I don't want to say clean, because it's going to be cluttered as all hell. But a much sleeker look. How's sleek? But this is just a good base because I'm going to be scrubbing a lot of metallics onto the body here. Since there's not a lot of large solid panels, there's not a lot to carbon fiber on here. Needles getting deposits again. Well, that, and I also have a heater going under the desk. 1, to keep me warm. And 2, to keep my 18-year-old cat warm. Right, Arnie? He likes hanging out with us. But I think I'm also gonna take a little bit of inspiration from the old Dark Horse comics. And when the head is ready, I'm gonna put a nice neon 13 on the forehead. Because I got Aliens Book 2 back in the 90s when I was a teenager. And that imagery just stuck with me. I don't even know if I'll go that far, but yeah, there's not going to be a lot. There's not going to be rust, because for rust you need steel, and I'm thinking a lot of composites and rubbers and non-ferrous materials, so there won't be rust. Because I got kind of an image in my head. And I want to see if I can get that to exist in reality. And we'll see. It won't be all done today, but with what I want to do and all that on it, this might just be a quick 2-dayer. We'll see. But I'm putting down a base of black gray. It works well as a base for the carbon fiber. And it also allows you to kind of go in and between all these panels, use a straight just black wash. And it'll add that depth that you need to those details without making it look dead. Whereas if I just painted this straight black, I'd have nowhere to go with it. I'd be stuck trying to make it work and not have a place to go deeper with the tones. In the end, once it's all carbon fibered and glossed up, it'll have a nice deep black look to it, but it won't be dead to the eye. And that's kind of what I'm trying to fight here, is that deadness. And I also want to give it that more, you know, classic, what we consider to be like oh, what's his name? He wrote Neuromancer. I can't remember his name. But more what we would expect a classic cyberpunk feel to be like. And not even like Blade Runner, but even more like dystopian and corporate. Gibson, William Gibson. Which is funny because William Gibson actually wrote one of the original treatments for Alien 3 that got rejected. but that got turned into a motion comic and a audiobook that I think you can get on YouTube. Okay, yeah, I got those marks down nicely. But like, I'm thinking for like stuff like this, to kind of tie in with the whole Giger aesthetic as well, what if things like this were copper and given a deep umber wash? Instead of just, gunmetal and good. The knees have what looks like a flexible underlayer between the armor panels. What if that was painted more of a medium gray to represent a more rubbery substance, The arms have a more robust joint in the elbow. How about that's copper or bronze with gold and aluminum highlights? That way there's still color and it's not all just grays and silvers. And these are all ideas I'm just throwing around in my head to try and keep ideas coming. Fine, I'm just going to hold you by the nub and then paint you. Well, it's been known about that he wrote the treatment, but it wasn't until more recent years, I want to say sometime in the late teens, early 20s, that it came to light, that the actual manuscript came to light, and it got repurposed. And what's funny is I think some of the ideas were stolen and used in Covenant. Because in that treatment that Gibson had, the alien had been converted into a spore instead of a facehugger, which could enter your nose and mouth and everything else. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But instead of being like a back burster or a chest burster or anything like that, you would just become the alien internally and your skin would slough off. So it was kind of Alien meets The Thing, but it wasn't like you didn't know if the person was there or not. It was just a matter of time before they just popped out of the skin. And at the time it was written, the Cold War hadn't ended yet, so there was a very heavy influence on like a corporate communist Chinese Russian military being involved, opposed to the Weyland-Yutani Americanized military with the Colonial Marines. But yeah, go give it a read. It's actually quite good. And had this version been made, because part of the impetus for it was they wanted a script to continue the story without directly involving Sigourney Weaver at the time. Because they didn't know if she wanted to do it again. You know, they didn't know. So it was centered mainly around Hicks and Bishop. Newt was also sent back to Earth, you know. But the story, I thought, worked, and it would have been interesting to have seen it. I don't think that effects technology at the time would have kept up. But who knows, you know? Hey, Kenneth. Yeah, I'm off today and Tuesday, so this is going to be the subject the next 2 days. I wonder if Model Student will be in. He's been working on his Centauro. And that honestly makes me want to get one. I can't spend money, though. Not until Objective Alpha is achieved in a year. I can't needlessly spend money. Or should I call it Objective H? Preparation H? I don't know. Okay, that's a good solid coat on there. Now, the tail. I don't know if I'm going to carbon fiber this. It's going to be a pain in the butt. And I would think that having the tail made of more solid plating would work better. Has there been an issue with the stream, like jumping? Because I'm showing a 3,000 frame drop. My signal's still green. I just didn't want to repeat a last stream. And sorry it took me so long to get back on. I was doing a 6-day straight blow at work. And my back's still acting up. So by the time I got home, I just died. And dealing with people all day, I wanted downtime. Yeah, the tail I'm going to have a think on and how to make it look interesting, but not be too bland. 'Cause there's a lot going on in this thing. Especially in between. So I want to find a way to make all those joints in between look like bare metal. Just probably careful painting, maybe some dry brushing experience, and then go from there. I'm almost out of paint and got tip dry. I was originally just going to rattle can this and prep for the stream, but I couldn't find my dark gray rattle can. Why am I... Yeah, the tail's definitely going to be an interesting exercise. But I will say the guy that did the digital sculpting on this really did a good job. And Ares is like, "Oh, I thought you were an alien purist." I'm like, "Yeah, but this actually looks interesting. This looks like something Wayland Yutani would make, lacking the actual creature." It's like, well, we know what it looks like, we know how it operates. What can we do to mimic it with the technology we have? Alex, thank you for that. Thank you for the tip.
This can't be happening, man. This isn't happening.
Alex from Denmark tipped $75. Of course you can treat yourself a little Centauro. You have to live a little bit. Right.
Tell you what, I'll see how much the Centauro is. See what I can find as far as deals on it, and then the remainder will go towards the Humvee. That way, both worlds are appeased. Yeah, we'll take a minute and do that here while the paint's drying, I guess. Because doing the carbon fiber requires me to wrap the part... Okay, hi. Requires me to wrap the part in pantyhose. And, oh, look at that. I missed all that. So it requires me to wrap all that in pantyhose. And I want to be sure the paint's good and dry before I do that, so I'm not rubbing the paint off. So we'll give this a good few minutes to dry, and we'll look at that. We'll bring up Scamazon and see if anyone's got a Centauro. I know Trumpeter makes one, and years and years and years ago I built, what was the company? They did a resin one. I bought it at a show in Duxford. There's like a Father's Day model building show at Duxford. And I got it there. Who made that? And it was the... No, it's not. But that's how I do carbon fiber. So, you stretch this out over it, and the weave of the pantyhose... See if I can get it up to the camera. But you see how that weave is? That's your mask. Right? And if you don't stretch it too far, you get it just right, it allows the metallic paint through and masks it off. And when you peel it and then gloss coat it, it looks like carbon fiber. Like, dead on. I've done it on a couple other things. I think I showed it off on a couple streams back for the roller derby cyberpunk girl. I did some carbon fiber parts on her. Which should be in the VODs for the live streams. I should really move my garbage can closer to the desk. Which advice on the Stormtrooper? Did you make a carbon fiber Stormtrooper? That would be interesting to see, honestly. Oh, the inner suit? Alright. Yeah, the problem is you move it too much, and I know whatever material it is that Bandai uses really doesn't like to hold paint. Okay, we got that cleaned off. These are going to dry a minute longer. I'm going to have to take a brush to that. I'm not going to get the paint back into the airbrush just for that little bit. It never hurts to go back and just quickly brush paint anything that you may have missed. Airbrushing is just supposed to make it quicker and easier. Most of the time it does. I'm just going through all the angles and dangles now. I'm not too worried about the toes. I think I'll be doing them in a dark metallic color. Gunmetal or metallic gray. But you see how the paint still got kind of a shine to it? That means it's still just a little too tacky. There. There. Could have sworn I got these areas painted. How did I miss that? Ooh. So which one's the longer one? I think it's the B one. Looks like it. Free delivery September 17th through October 1st. Where's that coming from? Oh, Model Time. I've dealt with them before. They don't deliver. I just had to cancel an order through them. Because I ordered an M113 for Ares, and delivery date came and went, updated to another date, that came and went, and they wanted to update to a third. I'm like, no, gotta cancel. Yeah, that's the main thing about Bandai stuff, and I know it's been the bane of Gundam modelers for a very long time, is... Yeah, they're posable, not for very long. Yep. So yeah, let's let this, let this all dry for a moment. So I don't trust the seller on Amazon. Yeah, I really don't trust this guy. Plus, between September 17th and October 1st, that's why that long? So, what's going on here? So we're gonna go to Fleabay real quick. Okay. Yeah, right here. Free delivery in the US. I'll have it by next week. Put that on the watch list. I'll buy it after the stream. I want to see if they have the B1 though. And I don't want the one with all the fender skirts. I like the look of the vehicle with the open tires. Now here's the real question. Do I look into updates for it, or just build it straight out of the box? Well, there's I think it's the Model Time one that I just saw. They are basically untrustworthy. They don't deliver. I'm trying to see if I have Tamiya gray metallic or gunmetal. I have Vallejo gunmetal. It feels a bit bright. It doesn't feel dark enough for what I want to do. The Tamiya stuff with the grain it has works better for me. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth between my jars. Or we could do carbon fiber with copper. Okay, yeah, we'll use the metallic gray. It's not as bright. I mean, it looks bright in the picture because it's wet, but when it dries, it's not as bright as the gunmetal that Vallejo makes. And it'll dry quicker, allowing for better handling. Now I just gotta shake it up. Shake it up. Now, dare I look up files for the Centauro to print? Like I did with the LAV. I thought I heard somebody. Hi, Arnie boy. Yeah, this mat's gonna need a good long cleaning section by the time we're done today. Hey, Major Havoc. It's going okay. Well, that's the whole vehicle. I was thinking more of, like, tires, interior parts, things like that. Hey, George. Welcome in, everybody. And if anybody who's subbed on YouTube recently is lurking, thank you very much. I got 6 last night while I was asleep. Right? We were talking about that at the beginning of the stream. I'm still kind of... I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of butthurt about it because there was no way for me to represent myself in their process. Yet that very same day, there was a Girls in Panzer video with basically the same tanks, all the same kind of markings, and the same exact songs. That... nothing. It had a couple thousand views and likes and all that, and I'm like... So this is exactly, fundamentally the same as what I posted, just anime. Okay. So, let's get our head ready. And then last night, while I was at work, I was, you know, clocking out and everything, and I looked down and I saw a notification on Google Mail, and it was YouTube, and they're like, oh, after actually reviewing it, we've seen that you're right, and it doesn't. And I'm like, well, that's fine and dandy. 1, you've killed the exposure time for the short, and 2, I've already deleted it. You know? Love Minis, thank you for the resub. Very much appreciated. Every little bit helps. What do we got here on Imager? The magic of the internet. I would love to do the Brazilian version. Or no, that's still Italian? What the hell did they do to it? Wow. Oh, what do we get? What did I miss? Ares is doing face huggers. But yeah, any kind of audience that I could have got from that short, because it was just my Hanglong Panzer IV with... I first tried it with Erica, because that's just soldiers singing about their girl back home. And then I tried it again with just the instrumental of Panzerlied, and that's what got me the suspension. I'm like, well, what the fuck's going on? Is it the tank or the music? But I couldn't get an answer. Nobody to talk to. I'm like, this is... To me, it's just fundamentally wrong. You know, and I hate sounding like a broken record, which I am right now. Okay, I think that's a good stretch we've got on there. A little more around the dome. Yeah. So now I've got to hold this, and then fill my airbrush cup. And when you do this, you don't want to, like, completely repaint the model, because you put too much paint on, and it'll seep under the mask and ruin the effect. You want to just barely mist it. And you can see it kind of going through. Now, I've done this on streams before. I did a Death Scythe Gundam back in 2020 that I completely carbon fibered from top to bottom. And now, the reveal. Come on. And it still doesn't look like much right now. Wait till I give it a gloss coat. But I want to get through the rest of the parts I know I want to have carbon fibered first. This might take a few treatments on the arms and legs just to get the proper layout. And you can even overlap it a bit, as long as you remember where your paint ended on one side, you can pick it up on the other side. There we go. Now this arm's going to be the hard part because you got these fingers trying to lift it up. Good enough. George, this is the cyborg alien, yeah. So, here's the head so far. Again, the carbon fiber doesn't really pop until the gloss coat's on, but you can see the texture and the weave is in there. One more shot down through here. That'll work for that. And another reason I like using the Tamiya metallics for this is they read better because of the grain, and the dry time allows you to remove the pantyhose without smearing the paint. If I'd done this with Vallejo, which I've done in the past, the Vallejo would smear. That's better. I was trying to get it to where there was no runs in the pantyhose. With this music, why does this sound like an episode of How It's Made? Just need someone from Bolton to narrate it. Okay. And the pattern seems a little haphazard now, and it is, but once everything's painted up, it'll make sense. The other thing I'm trying to be careful of, this resin's brittle as hell. Trying to not put too much strain on the claws when I do go over them, or else they'll just pop right off. Then we'll spend an hour regluing those over and over again. There we go. It's enough of a hint that when all the details are painted and blocked in, it'll feel right. I should have had my wife buy me more pantyhose while she was out. Don't clip that out of context. Yes, that was directed toward you, Aries. You know, I'm always talking about in modeling how sometimes you got to do the sloppy stuff first. This is the sloppy stuff. It's the stuff that is messy. But it's the necessary ugly that you have to put onto a model before you get to the stuff that looks good, you know? I'm thirsty. You know, maybe I should develop a plastic frame that you can hook a square of pantyhose onto that would allow you to just kind of hold it over what you need to paint and psh, 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 to do this effect. Now that I've already said that, chances are somebody's got it. They put it on Temu, and it's $5. I hate doing this left-handed. Oh, good God. Oh, yeah. So, who wants to buy my used pantyhose? Sorry, that just came across my head. Couldn't resist. Oh, God. Oh, God. Aries had the reaction I was expecting. I should not have found that. I should not have found that as funny as I did, but for some reason. Oh. Oh, man. Oh. I wouldn't blame, most of my subs for leaving after that one. Oh, I couldn't resist. This music is fitting this subject too well. Nothing wrong with being damaged. As the great warrior Megatron once said, "I still function!" Then he got promptly thrown out of a spaceship. Yeah, I really hope I'm able to put off what I'm seeing in my head right now on this. Okay. Should I try and at least carbon fiber these larger flat plates? It makes sense that you'd want like a quickly replaceable cover. This is going to be difficult. Mainly because I don't want to snap the tail. I already dropped it once and had it go in 3 pieces. That's good enough for me. Now I just got to get it on the inside. Yay. And because of the reverse angle of it, I've got to do this in a different manner. And what I'm doing is not a new technique at all. Car modelers have been using this for decades to replicate carbon fiber hoods on like Japanese cars and other sports cars. Ow! Damn it! That's what I didn't want to happen. And I'm getting shaky because of this. Almost done. And I'll need to take a break for a minute. Come on, just cooperate for 5 fucking minutes. I ate this morning, but it's just the strain of having to do this is fucking with me. I ate when I got up. Now it was about 10 o'clock. Probably going to grab a snack anyway during the break. I'm just trying to be cautious and not snap it, and I just snapped it. Because I'm trying to stretch it on the inside arc of this, and it's not easy to do. Here we go. And meanwhile, I'm drooling on my airbrush, trying to do 3 things with 2 hands. We're almost done with the airbrush portion of the session anyway. I want to throw a quick clear coat on it, and we'll give that a minute to set up while I am getting my snack on my break. And then we'll come back and start with some of the brush painting and things like that. I don't know if it'll be perfect, but adequate. It'll be adequate. To quote Ergo the Magnificent. And if you got that reference, then yeah. Alright. We're going to go with the Quick Shine first. Goes on a bit thinner, dries a bit quicker. Before I do that, though, I have to clean the metallics out of my airbrush before I just repaint this thing metallic. I just try and do the best I can. I'm using lacquer thinner to clean out the metallics. They tend to dry a bit harder and cause a bit more problems down the road, so... And yes, I do have an exhaust fan going. And honestly, the metallic sheen kind of gives it the look I wanted, so I'm getting happier with it. I'd rather bring it up a couple steps in like visual brightness. That way when I start doing the metallics and the shadows and stuff like that, it pops more. So when I start doing all the detailing. Sorry, Arnie. So, how many saw the short that I put up on YouTube for this, where it was like different directions I edited together? It's kind of a new way I want to do my shorts formats for some subjects. Wouldn't mind getting a little feedback on that, because I know the turnstile works. A lot of other people are doing it, and it's kind of getting tired? I don't know. Where this felt a bit more dynamic with the figure, especially the way the music happened to sync up with it, that was not planned. Run the Windex through for the final shot. Because the way that was planned out seemed to really draw a lot of interest. So I'm just checking something. Huh. Well, like notifications or something, or... Yeah, but just go into my shorts feed, you'll see it. It's the most recent one. Okay, clear coat and then break. Damn it, Jerry. Okay. Yeah, you see how that's really popping it now? Come on, autofocus. There. I'm not going for a perfect, you know, show car finish gloss on this. I'm just trying to seal it so I don't rub off the metallics and have to redo it all over again. I was tempted to use the shifters on this for something, but I really couldn't think of an effective way to do it. Come on, stay. Now, when I go to give this the final gloss finish, I've got some Createx gloss for that. And this is, like I said, this is just to seal the carbon fiber so we don't wear it off as I'm handling things to paint the rest. Come on, stay up, stay up. And I have some leftover, like, technical-looking decals from some of the Cyberforce kits to add some other kind of elements to it once we get to the decal set. Okay, not too worried about the sides, so leave that there. I'm a bit late to my break today. I usually like to take one every hour, you guys know that. Maybe I could use the, no, maybe. Because there's some, it looks like kanji, I can't really tell what it is, but there's markings on the body and other parts. Maybe I could use the shifters on those. What the hell was that? Okay. Turn off the heater too. Okay. Let me get some more music going, then we'll pause and take a break. So, yep, I'll be back in a few minutes. Anyone else that's been watching, working on stuff, get up and take a break yourself, get a snack, get something to eat. I know I need it, so be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I'm gonna change the music one more time. I went and grabbed a sandwich real quick. I was having dill pickle potato chips too. And I dropped one and it landed on Arnie's arm. It woke him from a dead sleep. And he immediately wolfed it down. Little piggy. Yeah. Come here, Arnie. People haven't seen you in a while. Come on, we gotta get the views in for you. You're not gonna be with us much longer. Oh, come here, bud. Come here. Excuse me. There we go. Yeah. How you doing, old man? You doing all right? You want to go on the desk? You want to go over here? He still has energy, but you can tell he's getting weak and shaky. Get everything I don't need off the desk. I'd also brought this stuff out in case I felt like doing something with it. And I may still, just to give the head a bit more of an effect. Because I was thinking either clear red or clear blue over the carbon fiber. But through this. I don't know, what do you think? Just a light misting of clear red or clear blue. What do you think, Arnie, huh? I also have orange, yellow, and green, but yellow would make it look like gold. Or is that too much, you think? Because that would just leave that pattern showing. Now, let me do blue. Just do a misting of clear blue if I have enough. Do I have enough? Oh, I got plenty. Jeez. You don't want this, Arnie. This is nasty stuff. What, boy? I know. Yeah. Here, old man. Over here. Over here. Come on. You just want all the attention all the time. I know. What are you doing, boy? Huh? No, you can't have that water. That's nasty paint water. Nope. Can't have that. Time to get down. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that with the clear blue. This whole thing's experimental. There's no canon behind it. There's nothing behind it. So we're having fun throwing paint at this thing, basically. Yeah, that'll work. And this way the carbon fiber will still show through. But it'll do something with this really large area. All right. I like it. It's weird, but I like it. Excuse me. Just had a burp. To me, it feels like that gave it, like, the idea that the head is just covered in sensors. Like, if you were to make a robot version of how the alien saw, this is how you'd do it, with just a dome of sensors, like a big 360-degree camera. Okay. Get that out of the way. Get this closed back up. Now we can start repainting stuff and proceeding with other details. Okay. And if anybody out there is feeling generous, it is Subtember, so subs are discounted on Twitch. I'm using dark aluminum for the majority of this jaw part. A lot of this is going to be getting a really deep black glaze wash, though. Almost like a, what's the term I'm looking for? Almost like a smoke overpaint. So it'll really bring the color back down and dull it down. And the teeth, of course, will be chrome. What alien doesn't have chrome teeth? Oh, wait. The one in Alien Earth. Tuesday's episode actually looks to be interesting. Because the whole series starts out, you don't know why the ship crashed. You just know that it did. Tuesday, they're going to go in depth in why the ship crashed. And so far, there's still one creature that they have not there's two creatures they haven't really explored, but one they haven't shown at all. And it's some kind of weird winged praying mantis type bug. But so far the show's pretty interesting, so if you haven't watched Alien Earth, give it a try. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm just worried it's going to invalidate the films. At least the three main films. Because in order for it to not do that, we know it has to end up with the island and everything on it being nuked. I think I'm going to keep running with this dark aluminum scrubbing. Like I said, the whole thing's going to be given a couple coats of black washes in certain ways in certain areas, which will bring it back down, because I know it's looking a little bright right now. I want that brightness to start with. So yeah, we're gonna keep going with this, because as I do this, it'll help me see things and think about things differently in terms of how I want to paint them. Like the tubes here, I might actually paint them medium gray, so that way they still have that corrugated plastic feel, but then the black wash will really pop out the ribbing on them. But yeah, I did not have seeing a chestburster get booped on the snoot in my 2025 card set. Oh yeah, I do like what that's doing. Yep. Alright, I like where this is going. I'm getting more and more happy with this. I want a larger brush. A larger, scrubbier brush. I must do tests on other portions. I know this seems like a lazy way to do it, but it's probably the most efficient way to do it. Because when I get scrubby with it, it'll allow me to see the details better, to go back and pick them out with other colors and other things too. But my thing is, on the show, we know how Eyeball Dude works. The alien is old hat to us. Do the ticks get bigger, or do they just breed swarms? What does the plant thing do? Just hangs there and acts like a praying mantis? And the real question is, Timothy Oliphant's synth working for Weyland-Yutani? I'll probably come back and bring these back out in a dark gray. Mm-hmm. But I already know one thing we're all thinking. Tell me that genius asshole character gets a face hugger. Please. I know it'll be obvious and telegraphed if he does, but please. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think having all this exposed stuff being like rubbed metal like that is going to contrast nicely with the arms and legs being more composite-y. I like where this is going now. Ooh, another idea popped into my head. I'll have to see if I can make it work. Yeah, we're going to throw some coppers into this for sure. I'm not being too quiet, am I? I know I'm kind of talking to myself. I can't wait to see what the wash does to this. This is going to be interesting. But we're going to have to wait till later in the stream for that, because I want to make that the last thing I do, because I'll need to set it aside to really set and dry if I do that. And I want to pull the other details out first. Okay, I like that. Let's do the other side of the head now. And I would try and remove a little more of that blue, too. We'll come back up to the smaller brush when we get up in there. Oh, yeah. Let me switch back to the smaller brush. Yeah, my back's feeling a little better now. Last couple days, it's been just throbbing like crazy. But that's also after being on my feet for, 9 hours a day. Okay. The blue on the pipes will disappear when I redo them. Gotta shake the paint again. Because I've been looking at a couple other people who've printed and painted this, and they all went with a primarily black color scheme. It looked neat, but it also immediately told me that's not what I want to do with it. One guy gave it a white head, which looked kind of cool, but was still not right. But right now, it seems like my idea of going with metallics on it and composites is the better choice for me. We'll see. The teeth will get their chrome at very, very last. Because I don't want to wear them out at all and mess it up. Yeah, that's going in the right direction. So is that. We'll go back to this brush. Okay. For the tail. So I want to see if I can get this to do the same thing between the plates. Kinda. Yeah, I'm just going to have to paint these carefully and come back with a wash on them. Sorry if I'm going a little quiet again. The process here is pretty cut and dry. I'm probably going to start popping the other colors open as far as like the coppers and golds, so I can start pulling those out as soon as I'm done with the tail. Arnie's back. Looks like he went upstairs and grabbed himself some food and water. So, if he has... Arnie, come here. Come on. Oh. Oh, sorry. There you go, old man. I'll try and spend as much time with him as I can before he goes. What, Arnie? Hmm? What, boy? Hmm? Good boy. You're being a good boy. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah. Don't headbutt too hard, okay? Excuse me. Okay. I gotta think of how I'm gonna do in there. Do I just take my brush and be careful? The tail's gonna take some thinking. The tail's gonna take a little bit of thinking. Let me get some of the other colors out and start laying them in on the other parts while I'm thinking on things. So that... the wash... copper. What's that? A metallic rust. It almost looks like a deep bronze. We'll use that too. Don't you guys love it when I just throw stuff at a model, see what sticks? Alright, we'll start with the copper. Arnie, don't do that. I almost smacked you. Let's do this. There we go. Get you more in frame. Yeah, good kitty. Here, lower the camera too. Why won't it let me? Oh, there it goes. Come here, boy. I'm trying to get you in frame. There. There we go. Yeah. Now we have 50% more Arnie. Yeah. Why are you laying down now, huh? He's getting his ear rubs in. Yeah. Is that better, old man? Because before, the carbon fiber pattern kind of looked a bit hodgepodge, but once you break it up with that, it starts to become a bit more apparent. And then putting the wash in will put a nice hard demarcation line through there. Psst, 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 psst. Arnie. Arnie. He's not as energetic as he used to be. Then again, you don't really expect an 18-year-old cat to do that. I'm also trying to plan out in my head what colors I want for what areas. So for things like this muscle looking stuff, I think I'll keep copper. The inner part of the joint, I think I'll go with the darker rust metallic. Almost like a dark copper, not as red. Trying to think how I could bring that color up onto the head a little bit. Through the body somehow, maybe. We'll see. How many channel points do you have, Love Minis? Well, for 1,000 you can do that. That was a nice little present to the channel from Soulway Studios and Aries. They kind of got together to make it. But I'm going to try for a longer stream today. I think we got the right subject for me to do that on because I can just keep thinking of what to paint. And it's in enough pieces that I'll be able to set one aside while the other one dries. right down in here. I knew I saw that kind of pipe texture somewhere else. Hello, Pork Chop. Thank you for the follow. How you doing? We are painting a Xenoborg today. Cyborg alien. Since there's nothing set in stone on it, I'm just kind of making my own thing up as I go along. But my hope is when I do the black wash, it'll tone things down. Then I can come back and selectively dry brush certain areas to make them look a bit more worn. Kind of want to finish off the head area first and get the wash going on that. Let's get these painted gray, and then we'll do that. You okay, old man? Hmm? How's your nose? Is it wet? It's feeling a little dry. Ah. Ow. That was my wrist that just cracked on me. Let's get a bigger brush going. So I know it's not Labor Day for everybody, but what's everybody doing today? Those of you who've had a 3-day weekend, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll also be on tomorrow. I don't get a 3-day weekend, but at least I've got 2 days in a row. Let that dry for a minute. That's right, I wanted to do in here like this. I'm gonna think on the feet, because part of me feels like he's wearing Crocs. You made some ribs? Ooh. Maybe I should suggest that to the wife for dinner tonight. Get those out of the way. Get this over here. I'm just glad to be off work. I did a 6-day blow. If it weren't for the fact I was 49, I would have just stayed up for all of last night into today. I can't do that anymore, though. It hurts. I'm just trying to maximize what time I am awake. Lately it feels like I'm not sleeping well, but I need sleep, but I don't want to go to sleep. I don't know. It's called getting old, I guess. Let's see what this rust color does. Oh, that's copper. At least it's called rust, but it just looks like... Wait, did I use this already then? I could have sworn I used the copper already. I don't know. They look pretty damn close, though. I know I'm not using rust as an effect, but the color might come in handy. Better be careful Allie doesn't come down. If she comes down and sees you up there, she'll be jealous. She's been known to push him off, too, which is not nice. Yeah, I could have... I think I used this one on accident instead of copper. Yeah, it looks almost the same. Copper's just slightly more red. Oh well. I'll make it work somehow. Knew I should have looked at the name on the bottle when I squeezed it out the first time. Whoopsie. Excuse me. I know, I gotta stop doing that, right? Ha! That woke me up a little. Yeah, I wish the new episode of Alien Earth was on tonight. It's Tuesdays. Even my wife was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, it's on, isn't it?" I'm like, "Nope, Tuesdays." She goes, "Damn it." Her favorite's the little eye squid creature, which is like creepy as all hell. And again, I'll say, poor cat. And I really hope they don't show what happens to the cat on episode 5. I hope they just use what we saw in episode 1 as enough and leave it at that. Especially after seeing what it did to the sheep. Yeah, I don't think I would actually be able to watch a cat have that happen to it. Where did my gold go? My gold paint disappeared on me. I think. Oh, there's some. Okay. What? You getting down? Alright. Think he wants to go under the desk and hide again. Good boy. I still don't know what to do about the claws yet. Do I leave them dark, or do I give them like a silver scrub? Make them shiny looking. I might wait till last to see what color dominates more of the figure and go from there. This gold's too thin for small details like that. Go on those. Sorry I keep adjusting, just trying to stay comfortable. Yeah, why not? This may have just turned into a longer than 2-day paint job. Let's get the actual copper out. Yeah, the rust is just slightly duller. Okay. Now I want to try and see what this does on the head. A large brush. At least large enough to swizzle it around but not absorb all the wash before I am able to put it on the model. And I used a technique similar to this on my steampunk figure for her arm, which got all the inscribed detail to pop out really well. Especially after I went back over it with another round of dry brushing. On the top of the head, I might use oil wash. I don't know for sure. Because I want to pop the details, but I don't want to radically change the surface color. On this, I wanted to radically shift it. You see how that looks compared to that? That was the third round of music. Let's get one more going. Not this one. I remember this one now. It's not one of my favorites for streaming. It's good when I'm cleaning the room, though. So far, I've had a couple of ideas come around the way I thought they could. Maybe not exactly, but they're doing 90% of what I thought they would do. Who just bumped my leg? Who is that? Hi, Mittens. Mittens up. Come on. Up. Up, up. Come on, buddy. There he goes. Yeah, you can see how it's starting to dry, letting the metal show through more. Come on, autofocus there. But it also gives it a nice wet, greasy look, so I kind of like that. Now let that set upright. Now for this, I'm going to thin it just a hair with some water so it flows better, because there's just a lot of stuff down here. What are you doing, Mitty? Huh? Oh, he's just turning around. And we're essentially going to do the same thing on the body, too. But I may carry this onto... Oh, yeah. Yep, we're doing that. I might take a thin mix to the head now that I saw what that just did. Might take a thin mix to the top of the head. But this also shows you what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, where if I had just painted the entire thing straight black outright, it wouldn't allow the wash to do this as easily as using a dark gray base. So, yeah, it's really bringing that to life. Happy accident. And we're going to go to a slightly larger brush too, because there's more ground to cover here. What are you doing up there, huh? You being a menace? You're a good boy. Yeah, the other Vallejo wash I have, the other dark one I have for more scale stuff, wouldn't work like this because it's a dark gray base color for the wash, and it dries flatter. Oh yeah, I really like what's going on here. I can't describe it, how it looks to my eyes. I'm sure you guys can see it pretty well from on screen. But it just took this whole thing and it went from meh to ooh. And that's all just from popping the shadows a little deeper, getting that contrast in there. Plus it does the other thing you want your alien model to do, and that's look slimy. But without having slime, like not being organic, or whatever the alien's supposed to be, biomechanical, bioengineered, whatever. But either way, it's slimy. And this gives it a greasy, slimy feel. And it's one I can come back and manipulate even further if I want to. We'll see how it dries. Oh, just stay up, please. Come Come on. Can I fix my brush? Stay. I also need to get more super glue. I might have to make a run out to a couple stores before tomorrow's stream. Because I don't know if they'll be open today by the time I'm off. Okay. More wash. Hold it upright again for natural flow. Yeah, this is doing too many good things. Because that was the main thing I was thinking of, is how am I going to convey the sliminess of it while it's a cyborg? Or even just a robot, or whatever you want to call it, mech. And this wash did just that. Yeah, let me thin some of this out, and we'll give the head a coat. Because I have a feeling this is going to make things really pop on the dome of the head. Fingers crossed I don't screw this up, guys. I'll try it back here. Oh yeah, this is starting to go the right way. It wasn't going the wrong way before, but I was kind of like, I don't know. Oh, and yeah, once I give it the final gloss layer, holy crap. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Look at that. And why do I have a feeling I'm going to have people who haven't watched this stream or watched any of the videos scratching their heads on how I did the head? And this even takes like the inconsistencies in the carbon fiber and helps hide them a little bit, right? So you're getting more of the idea of the impression of the material and not the actual like perfection of the effect. Oh, that is so nice. Let's do an arm. We're going to do all these because it's, yeah. I wanted to save this more to the last part, but it feels like something I need to do now just to help guide things, because I'm on the arms and legs, I'm feeling kind of lost. This will help a lot in that it feels like I'm jumping ahead, but at the same time, sometimes you need the wash to kind of give your eye some lines to follow and play with. Hi, Mitty. Big yawn. Yeah. Hi there. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this brings it right back down to where I wanted it. This is what I was thinking about. Remember, I was like, maybe the metallics are bringing it too high up, color-wise or visual-wise. But no, this knocks it right back down into that darker range. Actually, I know where I can put these to keep them safe. Put them on the base where they go, and that way all the wash flows where it should. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I hope I've shown you some new techniques or an easier, sloppier way of doing something. And again, if you want to support the channel on Twitch and Kick, there are donation links or links to the Amazon wish list I have. YouTube hasn't been monetized yet, but likes, follows, and comments on there are much appreciated as they do get me up in the algorithm. That didn't sound right now, did it? And if you haven't subscribed on there, you can do that there too. Subscribing on YouTube's free. And right now, subs on Twitch are actually on sale for what they call Subtember. And on the YouTube page, there are links to Twitch and Twitch and Kick on my profile if you want to follow to one of those as well. Okay. Oh, that wash is doing some magical things. And we lost a fingy. I'll have to wait till everything dries to glue that back on. Oh well, it happens. Let's do the legs. A good wash can also hide many sins. Depending on the model. I'm also, while the wash is wet, I'm also trying to manipulate it where I want it most. That way it is more in the cracks and it's not on the outer faces of things as much. Oil washes, that's easier. You can always go back after and clean up the outer surface. I kind of like how the acrylic wash is staining it a bit more, though. It really did exactly what I wanted it to on the copper. So those are going to sit like that. I need to find a way to prop this up like it is. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. No. Stay. Close enough. One more leg, but let me build my clothespin holder real quick. I guess you could say these are pretty close to like what Games Workshop contrast paints are supposed to be like. Without being Games Workshop contrast paints. They flow a bit more, they get into the cracks a bit more. I'm guessing Ares went off to a barbecue with Fenrir, because he's been very quiet recently. Now that that's starting to settle. Let's adjust things. Oh, wow. That's crazy how that dried. I couldn't have even planned for that if I wanted to. Alright, this one's behaving more. I don't have to... It's not behaving more. Stop misbehaving. Where did I put them? Where did I put my clothespins? Let's see if we got enough wash left to do the tail. I think we do. It's not going to expose much, but there's enough there that it might do some fun stuff. There. But I hope today's stream has been entertaining. It's coming to a close pretty quick for now. I'll want to let this dry and start looking at it overnight to see what I want to do next. After I get the outer part of this tail done. But I do thank everybody for watching, especially all the new subs on YouTube recently. It's helped a lot, and it has not gone unnoticed. Put this out there. Let's see if we can break 600 by December. I mean, we're at 559 right now. I'm trying my best to be on as often as I can without being detrimental to my own health and safety. Just trying to make sure each of these notches has a good amount of wash in them too. Come here. Need another bottle. No. Come here. I need 3 bottles then. There. Because that has to be held upright while it dries. But here's how the head and body are looking so far. Try and spread some puddling around a little bit so it doesn't get too goopy down here. There we go. I want to try something. I wanted to see if this may have had a surfactant in it, which would allow you to manipulate it a little bit. It doesn't, but that's fine. This is going to look good once it's wet, though, once it's clear-coated. Yeah. Maybe I'll throw everything together once it's dry at this phase and do another short and have that up tonight and see how that goes. We're coming up on 4 hours, which is an hour longer than I usually do. Thank you everybody for watching today. I feel like we've made some really good progress on this, and Allie knows it's time to end too, because she just joined us to raise hell. Hi, little monster. Come here. Come here. Yeah. So, yep, we got our little Allie monster with us. So we're going to end stream before she tries getting in front of the camera and knocking all this over. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to Love Minis for the resub. Thank you to Alex for the generous donation. I will put that to good use. I will be back on tomorrow, probably around the same time, if not a little earlier.